Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start a little new project here. File. I'm just gonna go in and, as I'm in Maya, get myself a new project window and new. This is gonna be my Jordan Petersen project, and I'll put that on my Maya project. Everything will be set up here. I'm gonna hit accept. Okay, and I've already kind of got an eyeball that I made previously. I'm going to go right into ZBrush. I'm going to block out a body in a different way. Okay, and one of the first things maybe I'll do is go in here to ZBrush and the tools, and I can grab any kind of shape I want. For the head, I'm going to do something like this. Oh crap, I'm in 2020. Just give myself a think here. I don't know if we've got this at the school yet, so I'm going to stop. Okay, let's try it again. Just going to get rid of Lightbox here. I'm going to go over and grab a shape, and I'll start with something funny like a cylinder. I can't use 2020 yet because it's not at any of the schools I'm teaching, so I'll wait for a little bit. Okay, and I got my startup material here. Great. Maybe I might switch to another material for just a little bit. Something really nice and basic. I'm just going to take this and I'll hit make polymesh 3D. Okay, so it's now a 3D object. And I can go ahead and hit Control D and smooth it. Or if I go into geometry, just hit the divide button. Okay, great. And you notice a little bit of weird stretching up in here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and make sure my symmetry's on. Great. And I'm going to hit Dynamesh. And it says here, you want to save this? No. Okay. And now, if I take a look here at the poly frame, you can see that I've got all these polys across the surface here, and you smooth them out and move them around. I kind of like getting myself into the move brush at this point. And there's all these brushes. It's all very overwhelming. So I want to remember how to get the brushes. B, M goes to the move, V goes to the move brush. I'm tapping S to change my brush size. Kind of pull out shapes here. And one thing that I'm doing as well is over on the side I have, here, let's see if I move this over here, and I guess I have to save this first that you can't see what the hell I'm doing. I've got something saving here, and let's hit save. Okay, great. And I'll move this over here. So I got pure ref. I'm going to do a Jordan Petersen. I'm going to do this guy just because it's also fun. As I'm modeling, I'll put on some of his videos, his YouTube videos, and listen to them. Sometimes gives me better ideas of what to do. And as I'm doing this, as I'm pulling this shape around, if I go and I hold down Control, whoop, and I drag, it retopologizes. Okay, and I'm not going to get too carried away. I just want the general shape of his head. And as I start doing this a little bit, I start noticing, you know what? I want these eyeballs in pretty quick. And let's see, what have I got? If I go in here to Subtools, I've got the head up here. Remember, when you're dealing with subtools, the top subtool should be something symmetrical. Otherwise, you get problems with the rest of your model being off symmetry. So next thing I do is hit append, and let's append in polymesh 3D. So I get a little star down in here. You can kind of see it. I go and I do this, and I hide that. You can see the star there. And I've already made an eyeball previously, so I'm just going to go in and take the star and import. And where the hell am I? Let's move this over here. Boop. So I'm going to my Maya projects, and there's an eyeball open. Okay, it's quite large. Yeah, I should probably figure out the definite size of my character a bit later. I'm just going to go and get move my eyeball around. I can grab the center here and scale it down. Okay. And just going to go and snap it, and I'll move my eye over here. As I'm moving it around and centering it here, what is it? If I hold down Alt and I click on Home, the pivot point goes to the center. I can actually, if I hold down Alt, I can move the pivot point to where I want it to be. Okay. And next thing I want to do is I'd like to have another eyeball on the other side. So if I go to Z plugin and I go into the subtool master, there's a mirror feature right here. Cross the x-axis and boom. Okay, and I can come in here and I can make both my eyes smaller, or if I go and I hold down Alt, okay, which is the unlock button here, you can click it and then you move this pivot point over to here, and then you click it again and it's locked, and now you can grab the little thing here. Now we get a problem, it's going and scaling into the center of this eye, but if I hit X and I have symmetry on, now the symmetry will take care of that business. Okay, and I can move them apart, move them in. And what does he have? His eyes, maybe pull them together a little bit. For some reason I feel like they're a bit closer together. Now that I've got this, I got the eyeballs onto their own layer here, and I might just go ahead and smooth them. Control D. One other thing I can do if I feel like it, I'll turn off the poly frame, is I might feel like slapping a texture in here too. So if I go looking, I'll hit texture and I'm going to go and hit import. And let's see, I'm going to hunt around in here, and where the hell did I put these things? I think I put them over here. And I'm looking, and I think that's the beast I'm looking for. No, no, no. Where the hell did you go? That one? Of course not. Here, I'm going to pause. Okay, I got it. So over here in texture, there's my eyeball. And my UVs might be flipped, so I might just go in here and hit flip V here. And it's sitting over here, and I've got the eyeballs still selected. I know their UVs are laid out, so if I go down into texture down here, I can hit it with this and load those on, and god damn it, there's no UV mapping? Apply UV mapping or use polypaint without UV mapping. Why would it do that? Okay, that's odd. Okay, I'm just gonna go back here. I gotta pause for a sec. Okay, don't know why I did that, but for some reason, maybe when I did the, when I went over and I hit mirror, it decided to freak out. So let's go back and take a look here at the head that I'm on. And I'll go back here to eyeballs, there's my head, and I've got this other eyeball, so if I hit append, and I grab myself by the eyeball, there we go, and make sure that this is selected. Oh, and I can take these eyes here, and I'll just delete them, because they're a screw-up. Okay. And let's try this again. I'll move this, and maybe I'll go in here and Alt. There's one in here that I know I can make it go to the center of the geometry, and I've forgotten how to do it. Okay, well, I'll just move it here and say it's good enough. Okay. I've got the pin on. Okay, there we go. Okay, and I'll take this and move this forward. And I'll scale it down. Okay, and let's look at this from the front view. Okay, and good enough somewhere around here. And just to start off with, anyway, you make it smaller. Whoop. Okay, and then I'll go over and I'll try the Z plugin thing again and hit mirror. Upload. There. And then what the hell was that? Okay, so we've hit a problem. Okay, I'm going to try something. I'm going to try a trick here, because for some reason that gets rid of all the UVs on it, which is weird. I don't know if I just hit a bug or what. I haven't seen that before. So if I go and I hit duplicate on this eye, put that eye over there, and then I go to... I wonder if it's because I moved my pivot point. No. Anyway, if I go down to... where is it? Deformation, and I say... offset blend, offset, no. Is there a mirror in here? Why isn't this going as fast as I wanted it to? I don't want to have to lay out those UVs again. Unify mirror. Boop. I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, so I just went and figured it out. So if I make a duplicate, and I take the duplicate, I make sure I don't have any subdivision levels. Remember, if you want those back, you can hit reconstruct subdiv later on. Then, if I go and I hit mirror across the x-axis, the duplicate will mirror across. Then I can go back up in here, grab this one, and if I go to merge, I can hit merge down. Okay. Now they're both on the same subtool, and when I did that, it deleted their freaking UVs. You bastard! You bastard! Oh. But if I go backwards again, okay, and I'm sitting right here, and that's just one eyeball, then I make sure that I've got enough polys, so I'm going to give this 1,000,000, how about 2,000,000 polys, and then I'm not going to worry about the UVs, because what I'm going to do is go into texture. Okay, now I go to texture. If I go to poly paint, I go and I hit colorize, and I hit poly paint from texture. The texture is going to bake on. Now I don't need the texture anymore. And so now when I go up here and I hit duplicate, and then I go down into deformation, I hit mirror, function, multiple subdivision levels again, so I got to go in here and delete lower. Then I can use the mirror feature, it'll plug it across there, and then I can take this thing, and both these have texture on them. I'm going to hit delete lower as well, and then I can probably go in and hit merge down, and it's going to keep their color. Haha. And if I, yeah, that's all I care about. Okay. That was long. That was not what I wanted to do. Okay, and if I have X, I have my symmetry on. When I move these things around, do this. Okay, great. There's a few other things I can do with this, but all I really want to do is just quickly go in and have eyes someplace on my character as I'm building it up. Okay. And, let's see, I'll place these up here. Next thing I want to do is I want to add more subtools onto this. So the next thing I might do is if I went in and let's go and create another object. So I'm just going to go in here and append, and I'll append on, say, a sphere, and we'll switch to the subtool here, and I'll switch to the move for a second. I'll make sure I have symmetry on. Okay, and I'm just going to make this smaller. And it hid my eyeballs. Okay. And if I go and I hit back to the draw here, and I have the move brush on, I'm going to start to kind of go in and get a rough shape. This may be a bit big. Okay, and what does he got for a nose? Something like this. Perfect. Okay. And we can keep this all separate and give this a bit here. Okay, I'll leave it like that for a second. And if I just go down to in geometry, if I go and I put Dynamesh on my nose, now I can sculpt it around, and you can see that I can Dynamesh. Every time I go in, I start kind of pulling shapes around here. I can Dynamesh it, pull up into the nose and whatever I want, Dynamesh, and it'll rebuild it. And what it's basically doing is if I put in all these pieces together, I'm going to slap them all together a bit later on. And so let's see, I want another one. How about we go down in here and I'll hit append, and I'll get another sphere. I'll take my sphere. I'm going to grab the move tool here, move it over, and I'm on the nose still, so I got to grab the sphere. Okay, and I'm going to make this smaller. Let's just go in and scale it in like this. Okay, wonderful. And maybe I'll rotate it a bit. Okay. And now I'm going to go back to this move brush here. Remember the difference between the move brush and the move tool. Boop. Okay, and I'm just getting a rough ear, and I'm kind of looking at his reference. Remember, I'm not doing anything photorealistic. I always do kind of this stylized, cartoony thing. Now I get onto the side there, and then if I just go to Z plugin and I hit mirror, this time around I don't worry about textures because, yeah, it's just geometry. We're just getting the ears in. I could name this stuff on the side, but I don't think that's super important at this point. So we've generated a couple pieces of geometry. Don't forget that for things like eyelids, if I want to do eyelids, if I go in and maybe I'll take the eyeballs as they are, and if I went and I made a duplicate of them, okay, so now we got a duplicate of the eyeballs, and I'm just going to Dynamesh these puppies. Actually, no, I won't Dynamesh them. Actually, maybe I will, because that'll actually decrease their amount of polys, probably because I've got way too many polys. And then I'm going to go in and use the move, and with this one here, we'll kind of do something like this so we get that. Let's go and hit solo, and I don't think I can hit solo. Okay, I can't hit the solo button on this. Actually, if I pull it down a bit, there it is. Okay. Now, as I'm dealing with this here, I only want half of an eyeball or half of an eyelid. So if I use Control and Shift, and I drag up like this, and then maybe this green area is going to be saved, but maybe if I don't want to save the green area, I'll hold down Alt. That'll make it hide. And then I can go into the oh, it's in the geometry section under Modify Topology. It's Del Hidden. So I deleted the hidden faces, and then when I drag like this, the Dynamesh is going to get rid of that edge there. And maybe I'll just make sure I'm on Draw, and maybe I'll hold down Shift and smooth those a little bit. Great, there's my eyelids. I could do this a few different ways, but that works for what I'm looking for. Actually, I've got another way that I can do things in a moment. Maybe that would actually work a bit better. What if I go and I take those eyeball or those eyelids there, and I went up to the deformation section. Actually, even better than this, I should have used. Where am I? In the subtool section. If I go to extract, let's just solo these again. Do this. If I mask these like this. Okay, and then I go and I hit extract, it's going to go and pull that eyelid off of there, and I'll hit accept. And that's good. That's better. So I'm just going to take this other thing I had here and delete it. I could have done that off the other eyeballs too. And so now I got this. Happy with that. I can smooth those down a bit if I want to. Okay, and I can make another set of those. I can hit duplicate. If I bring everything back, now you'll see I've got eyelids for my top. And that's not what I meant to do. Come on. I'm using my mouse while I'm doing this too, because my microphone's in front of me. And I can go into the draw, and I can rotate these around if I wanted to. Maybe if I hold down Alt, I can move this pivot point, so I can go and do something like this. Okay, and I can tug that around. That's the lower ones, and there's my upper ones. Of course. Okay. There, so now I've got upper and lower eyelids. It's looking a lot like Jordan Petersen already. No, it's not. I can also go over here to the face here, and if I want to mask out an area, if I hold down Control, and that's not what I want to do, I go into Draw, make my brush smaller here, and I want to do the mouth area. Keep this all separate. I'm going to grab this and I'll go down to Extract. That's pretty thin, so I'm just going to go into the thickness here, and I'll pump it up, and then I'll hit Extract, and that's good. I'll hit Accept, and now that's something big that I can play with, and I can go in and hit Dynamesh in the geometry section. Let's close down some of this stuff because it's getting confusing. Turn on the Dynamesh. Okay, and I can work on the mouth separately from the rest of the face. And let's see what time we at. 19 minutes. Okay, so I've had a few little difficult moments here, but this should have been much faster. Maybe one more I'll hit in here. If I go and I hit append, I'll bring in cylinder. And let's see over here on the side. That's going to be my neck. And I'm just going to come in here and if I scale this beast down, let's pull it down here. Scale the whole thing down. Whoop. And then I'll scale it up here. Okay. And there. Now I've got this weird kind of pencil neck thing that I've got going on in here. Maybe I might want to go in and inflate this a bit more. Okay, remember it is going to be cartoony when I'm done. Okay, and I'll stop right here.